Good morning, everyone, and it is 11:01, and I like to start these on time. Hi, Randy, and Wesley, and Janet, and Jesse, and John Curtis. Is he recording? And that other John fellow. We just watched Don't Worry, Be Happy, and I have a 4-minute video by Will Smith that sort of runs up that alley. And as the sign says in front of us, some people dream of success while others wake up and work hard for it. So what I'm going to do is run right into this video, and I'll be back with you in a second. Well, 4 minutes actually.
Greatness is not this elusive, God-like feature that only the special among us will ever taste. You know, it's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very simple. This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it. Period. It's that simple, you know. And I think what happens is we make the situation more complex. It can't be that easy. No. We didn't grow up with the sense that where we were was where we were going to be. You know, we grew up with the sense that where we were almost didn't matter, because we were becoming something greater.
Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. I've never really viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day, you'll never be able to communicate the way that you want. So the only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill. You might have more talent than me, you might be smarter than me, but if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's two things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. It's really that simple.
One summer, his dad tore down a brick wall on the front of his business and told 12-year-old Will and his 9-year-old brother to rebuild it, a job they said was impossible. It took them 1.5 years, but they did it.
And he said, now don't you ever tell me it's something that you can't do.
You don't try to build a wall. I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. And soon you have a wall.
You know, it's an idea that my grandmother always had, that, you know, if you're going to be here, then there's a necessity to make a difference. She always instilled the responsibility, the spiritual responsibility that you have to make every group you come in contact with better.
I want to do good. I want the world to be better because I was here. I want my life, I want my work, my family, I want it to mean something. And it's like, it has, if you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time. Your life will become better by making other lives better. I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want. One of my favorite books. I just believe that. I believe that I can create whatever I want to create. The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A.
You have to believe that something different than what has happened. You have to believe that something different can happen.
Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Why would you be realistic? What's the point of being realistic? I'm going to do it. It's done. It's already done. The second I decide it's done, it's already done. So now we just got to wait for y'all to see.
So there we have the words of Will Smith, and I had no idea he was into this stuff. Pretty cool though, huh? That movie, Pursuit of Happiness, was a great movie. And I'm pretty sure that Will didn't write the book, but that's obviously his philosophy in life, and we can do good things if we work at it, we believe, and we help others achieve. So what I want to do is actually get right into this presentation today, because I would kind of like to go to a webcast myself at noon, and things are coming right along for this occur of the PDIMI. And so what I'm going to do is run through a few slides when it comes to income tax savings, and I'm going to take everyone into the back office of the new website, which, by the way, none of our team is actually registered for yet, but people are finding it from, I don't know where, YouTube or Google, both probably. Anyway, next week we are going to be doing an online business presentation, and this is going to be our final presentation before we launch in January. And I've got some pretty cool things in store for everyone. And I've got a special guest coming. It was confirmed last night. I don't think he's going to speak next week, but he's coming to see how the GVO webcast system works. And then he's promised to come in and do a generic MLM training for the team in the future, a couple of weeks from now. Hopefully before Christmas. Okay, who is our best friend, or sorry, what is our best friend when it comes to income tax time? It's definitely not the tax man, is it? Because what they're out to do is they're out to get every dollar out of us that they can get out of us. That's their job. That's what they're trained for. So our best friend at income tax time is the plain white envelope. Would you believe that? Envelopes. What you do is you hang one on your wall right beside your front door, the door that you enter and exit from every week, every time you leave. I'll explain to you exactly what that white envelope is for. Every time you go out, every time you leave your house, you come home with these receipts, and you walk through the door and you stick your receipt in the envelope. And I mean receipts for everything. Everything you spend money on, you save your receipts. I'm giving this other computer a chance to load in here too, because I don't like when I have to redo a webcast. It's lonely when I do it by myself. Anyway, think about how much you spend dining out, just eating at restaurants in 1 year. You know, if you go out to supper or dinner once a week, it's $5,200 roughly. Or if you take the family out to McDonald's even, that works out to roughly, this is just a rough estimate. All of this stuff is just a rough estimate, and I'm by no means an accountant. I'm just trained in this stuff. So we're going to use an easy number of $5,000 a year eating out at restaurants. So let's set this number aside over to the right. Now let's take a look at our transportation costs. If we own a car, we're talking about gasoline. If we're in the city, we don't have a car, we're talking about bus, cabs, whatever. We're going to actually use a number of $5,000 for that too, because that is about right. And we definitely spend $5,000 a year in gasoline. Jana and I do anyway. Okay, now what do you need in order to use your transportation cost and your meal receipts as a write-off? And there are a lot more. I'm just getting into a couple here. You need a plain old business card. Just a business card. Keep them in your wallet. Every time you go to a restaurant, you hand a business card to someone that works there with your website address on it. You make sure that you ask them for, and you write down their name, and you keep their name on the back of your receipt that you get at the restaurant in case of an audit down the road. And it's not just home-based business owners that get audited. My dad's got audited, and he's a construction worker, so chances are either you or someone you know will get audited down the road. Hi, Jim. Okay. $8,000 last. There you go, Randy. Okay, now your travel costs. If you do this, just simply hand out a business card every time you leave your house. Every time. Hand out a business card to someone. Your travel costs, your meal tickets, everything. It's 100% tax deduction, and you're saving money on things that you're already buying. It's not like you're going out and spending extra money because you have a home-based business. Now they're all write-offs too, but that's something different. You keep your receipts, you tuck them in that plain white envelope as soon as you walk back through the door. And I've seen people just throw them in a box and take them to the accountant, and their accountant hates them for it, but it still gets done and they still save the money. It's just your accountant will love you a little bit more if you keep things organized. Okay, let's take a quick look now at what can be saved on just these two expenses alone. And I'm just talking about your meal tickets, going out to eat at restaurants, and your gas to get there. Each state, province, country puts us in tax brackets. These tax brackets depend on how much money we earn and where our earnings come from. And they vary a little bit from state to state and province to province and country to country. But what you are going to see can be used as a fairly accurate guide no matter which country you're from. I mean, if you're from a tribe in Africa someplace that's not civilized or whatever, it doesn't count. But every country in the world that has a governmental system gives us tax breaks, and I'm going to explain why in a minute too. This one here is from Ontario. I did some research on this, and roughly our first $10,000 in Ontario, it's allowed before we have to pay taxes. So from $10,000 up to $39,020, we pay 5.5% on. And then from $39,000 up to $78,000, we pay 9.15% on, and that's average. I guess middle class would earn between $39,000 and $78,000 a year. So I would say the average tax bracket for Ontario, because of the state of the world economy, is only 9%, and it used to be 20%, so it's dropped quite a bit since I took my consumer education class. Anyway, from $78,000 up to $500,000 a year, it's 11.16% taxes. And people that earn over $500,000 a year pay 12.16% in taxes. And I see on the left that they're sneaking that up a little bit on us next year, but that's to be expected, right? So, in this case, if we're a middle class and we earn between $39,000 and $78,000, we're going to be saving 9.15% of that $10,000 for our meals and our gas to get to the restaurants. So for that one expense alone, we're going to save $915. And this is cash back in your pocket when it comes to doing your income tax next spring. When I first started taking this class back in 1998, this was all over my head, so if you don't understand everything about it, I can relate. Now let's dig just a little bit deeper, and let's talk about our car, or truck, or whatever, motorbike. If we made every trip a business trip, every time we leave home, we hand out a business card. We need to keep a logbook, keep track of our mileage and write it down and all that stuff too, which our accountant tells us that it only takes 2 minutes a day, and it does. So every time you leave your house, you turn that trip into a business trip. our vehicle lease would become 100% tax write-off. Now, in order to keep the numbers easy, let's take a lease payment of $500 per month. That's $6,000 a year. And if we're in that 9.15% middle class tax bracket, that's going to save us $549 more doing nothing extra other than what we already do. So all of a sudden we're up to $1,500 in savings because we have a home-based business. And again, this is nothing because I've seen people save $15,000 in their income tax. $15,000. Now, why would the government allow us to do this? They're there to help us, sure, but they're there to help us for a reason. They're giving us these tax breaks to encourage us to start and work at a home-based business in hopes that our home-based business is going to succeed in 1, 2, 5 years down the road. This is going to put us in a higher tax bracket than that 9.15%. And you've seen the difference between $79,000 and $500,000, which is what, 2 to 3%. And if you're talking 2 to 3% of $1 million, that's a lot of extra money that you're paying back to the government. So what goes around comes around. Well, there's nothing illegal, there's nothing immoral about this. If our business succeeds, and we can make it succeed, so when our business succeeds, what we save now, we're going to be paying that back plus more in the future. I've heard some people say that if we don't pay income tax, that the world economy is going to fall apart. And they've really got the wrong mindset, and they haven't taken any of this consumer education stuff, and they don't understand it. They're just wrong. They don't realize that the government's given us these breaks for a reason. Besides that, the economy is doing a pretty darn good job on its own of falling apart without us using our income tax write-offs, isn't it? I think that the bankers and the insurance companies had something to do with that. It wasn't us home-based business owners, was it? Okay, so far we're up to $1,464 in income tax savings. Now, how else can you save? Many more ways. Thanks, Janet. I'll see you in a while. Okay, let's take a look at what home-based business tax professionals call income splitting. In the layman's terms, I've heard it called child labor. And I've always thought of child labor as something different, but I read one guy talking about income tax savings and he calls it child labor. Anyway, if one person in the household works and another one doesn't, the one that works can pay the one that doesn't for doing things that they do anyway. For instance, if you're away working at a day job or a night job and your spouse cleans your office for you or runs to the post office and picks up your mail, you can pay them for that. And that's a write-off as a business expense. And so is the gas, of course, but that's called income splitting. So you're splitting your income with your spouse that doesn't work. And this works really great for a family with a child that's old enough to do computer work or to do paperwork. Again, in most places people can earn up to $10,000, and this is just a guideline, without having to pay income tax. Your first $10,000 is tax-free. I don't know how they figure we can live on $10,000, but anyway. So a family with one child of age can write off another $10,000 that they don't have to pay tax on. A family with 2 children of age can pay $20,000 extra in write-offs. So 9.15% of $20,000, you know, that's another $915 per child. So a family of husband, wife, and 1 child already are up to just under $2,400 in savings. And there are still many more things that we can legitimately write off, and I haven't even started yet. Like I say, I'm not an accountant. This is just training that I've taken myself in the past. And I know six-figure income earners that have never, ever paid income tax. Now, if you own your own vehicle as opposed to leasing a vehicle, you write off your depreciation on that vehicle. And I do know for a fact that if you buy a new vehicle, as soon as you drive it off that lot, you get a $5,000 tax write-off, because the vehicle depreciates $5,000 as soon as it's 30 seconds old once someone drives it. Now think, if you trade your vehicle in every year and you're in a 20% tax bracket, that's $1,000 a year income tax savings right there instantly. And the company that I used to be with had a vehicle program which worked most of the time. You could use the tax write-off on your vehicle alone, and this vehicle would more than pay for itself. So you'd be driving a new vehicle free every year. You would flip your vehicle every year, and it would pay for itself through income tax savings. Wish I had someone to put that together for us, but it's just too much work for me. But you can deduct depreciation on your office equipment, like your printers, your computers, and your chairs and your desks. Your accountant would have information on what percentage per dollar cost that you could write off on that. Your communications costs are a tax write-off. If you had a business phone line, like your cell phone is a tax write-off, your internet connection is a tax write-off. Interest on your mortgage payment is a partial write-off, and so can your mortgage payment be a partial write-off. For instance, if you have a home office and you're living in a home that's 1,000 square feet, if your office is 10 feet by 10 feet, that's 100 square feet. That's 10% of your home is your office. So 10% of your mortgage could be written off. But you want to make sure that your office is used for nothing but an office. You can't let your kids sleep in it, because if you ever do get audited and the government catches a bed in it or whatever, then you could be in big trouble. Okay, interest on bank loans and your credit cards, tax write-off. Do you give your kids an allowance? If you get them to do some work for you and you pay them for this work, instead of an allowance, it's still an allowance. You just call it as something else. You call it as paying them. Your kid's allowance actually becomes a business expense, and you can write it off. Yes, there are many people within this company that have businesses to offer members. Anything can be used as a home-based business as long as you expect to make a profit from it and you work at it. Now, do your children play sports, soccer, baseball, football? When you purchase their equipment, I know hockey equipment is pretty expensive. It's like for little kids, 4 feet tall, it's like $1,000 just to start them off. Now, when you buy equipment for them, you have them do something for you when it comes to your business. Paperwork, computer work, research online or whatever. And your business can pay them for it, and they buy their own equipment, and this becomes a tax write-off. This is called transfer spending. And there's your income tax bracket percentage that you save of that $1,000. If you're in a 10% tax bracket, you save $100 on their sports equipment. So with a home-based business, you are spending the same money in the same places, except things become a write-off for you and you save mega dollars. And as Jim is saying, he's got a home-based business. All you need to do is get people's contact information. Hand them a business card, like I said at the first of the presentation. Send them to your website. Write down their name, and it's that simple. A word of caution, though, is not all accountants are created equal. Jana and I were at H&R Block last time, and we were claiming just rent as a home-based business because rent is residual income and it's home-based business. They had to go get a special accountant out of 10 accountants that were in the office that day, and even she didn't know what I know because of the consumer education training that I took. So maybe 1 out of 200 or 300 accountants know what I'm talking about. So be very choosy who you use for an accountant for this. Don't get your neighbor Jim or Bob or Joe to do it. Don't get just an ordinary CPA to do it. Get someone that specializes in people that work home-based businesses. Just like a doctor, they specialize. I've met accountants that can get very, very creative with this. And it's the accountants that I'm talking about that do this. I've seen people earn six-figure income year after year after year, their whole lifetime. They've made millions of dollars and never paid money in income tax. And I don't know if this is moral or ethical. If it's legit, I guess it is. And I've seen this one gentleman in particular, I've seen him get audited, and he was fine because he kept his receipts. Everything checked out. So again, be choosy with your accountant and make sure that they know what they're doing. And cover your end, make sure you keep your receipts. Now the average family saves more than $5,000 on their income tax because of a home-based business. But the average family would go to H&R Block, where H&R Block accountants may or may not know this stuff. Be picky with your accountant. I've seen people, like I say, they can save $15,000, $20,000 or more on the taxes simply because of a good accountant and a home-based business. So the next time you want to get in front of someone to show them your business, maybe you should use this approach. Bill, you know anyone that likes to save money? When they say yes, not if, but when they say yes, because everyone knows someone that likes to save money, you start your business presentation off when you show them with the income tax savings part, as opposed to starting out working for a business. This works for me. This has worked for me in the past every time, because I've been in so many home-based businesses. When I would call someone up, they would know what it was about, so I used a different approach. Brian, are you interested in saving some money? Sure. What are you doing Wednesday night? Talking to you about saving money. So I would drive down to Perth, and I would start off with how much money you can save on your income tax. And by the end of the night, he joined the company I was with at the time, and we had a meeting set up that I showed 4 more people within the next week, and they all signed up too because of the income tax savings and because it was a good product and company at the time. Now I look at things like this. Full membership in the Sakura PDIMI right now is $1 a day. It's $365 a year. Now, who wouldn't trade $365 for $5,000? Would you trade $365 for $5,000? Because I know I would. Next Saturday is going to be the business presentation. Bring someone to it. You will make money at this presentation next Saturday. And it's the same time at 11 a.m. And Michael and I plan on it being the last one before we do launch in January. And I'll let you in on a secret. There's a way that people can get into the PDIMI matrix for $5 a month. $5. So you'll be paying $5 a month for $5,000 in your pocket at the end of next year. So think about that one. And this gentleman in front of you, Dale Maloney, I was talking to him last night, and he's agreed to come and see how this works next weekend. And he's going to come in, and he's been with different companies too. He's going to do a generic how to work your MLM business. And he's now made over $20 million. He was my sponsor in T&I a few years back. And at that time he had made $6 million, or $10 million, sorry, they call him the $10 million man. And now he's up to $20 million, and I think it's been maybe 3 to 5 years, so that's pretty cool. So now what I want to do is take you into desktop sharing and show you some of the products that I've uploaded this week into our back office. So let's get at that. Here we go. Okay, first I want to show you this site. This is sakuraprojectworldwide.com/blog. This is one that I haven't worked on in 38.5 years. At least it seems like that. Anyway, you can bring people here and just click on Tax Savings Calculator. And scroll down. And it says number of business miles you travel each year. The average is 12,215. So we'll go high. We'll put 15,000. Yearly travel expenses, including flights, meals while away, money spent in hotels, etc. I kind of like sitting in my office chair here, so I'm not big on flying. But a lot of people that I know on Facebook travel all the time, so I don't know. I'll put $2,000 for the year. Total spent on eating outside of your home yearly. I put $100 a week, so $5,200 a year. Annual cost of office supplies, this is your paper, printer cartridges, postage, envelope copies, etc. We'll go low and say $100 a month, so $1,200 a year. Annual cost of gifts to people in your business. This would be if you mail books out to your downline, you know, how to win friends and influence people and things like that. We'll go really low and say, I don't know, $1,200 a year, I guess. What will you invest yearly in marketing materials, advertising, radio, internet, other forms of marketing? Well, Jesse and I have spent $1,000 a month, but that's not typical. I don't know, we'll go low and say $1,200 a year in that too, I guess. Annual home office and cell phone expenses, $100 a month for cell phone, office, internet connection. Below that, $600. We've got $18,325 in deductions, and in a tax bracket of 10%, there's $1,800 in savings. In a tax bracket of 15%, there's $3,000 in savings. But you can use this website as a guide if you want, and it's only a guide. Now let's go into our new website. I'm not even sure at this point what I have in here myself because I've uploaded so much this week. We have the bronze member downloads. And I'm just working on the training. I was working on the uploads for everyone to download this week. That's what I was doing all week. Well, let's go into the bronze members area. And what I did is I put things that everyone gets, including the free bronze members. I put them in here because I didn't want to have to upload them for bronze members and silver members and gold members and elite members. So it starts off with training on the website setup, step by step. And just wait for that to load into the recording computer. And so far I've got Intrepidity theme training uploaded and World Web theme training uploaded. And agency is the theme that this website is actually on. I've completed it, and I've got the videos on my hard drive, but I haven't got them uploaded yet. So let's go to the downloads for bronze members. And silver members can go into silver members and bronze members. And gold members can get into gold members, silver members, and bronze members. And elite members can go into all pages on the website. And this membership site training is going to belong to everyone too, okay? So everyone and anyone in the PDIMI will have access to how to set up their own membership site. Now right here, the Intrepidity Theme Training HTML download. Well, I'll show you how to use it live, might as well. You save it. And let's pull it into hard drive here. Let's just unzip it. I just double click it. Open it up and select all and copy. Now we go back to our website. This will be your personal website. This doesn't have to. This is a way to get people on your contact list without having your own membership site, because it's kind of some long-haired stuff in it. Let's go new page. Let's go into HTML. And let's paste what I just downloaded right here. Now let's preview that. Now it's going to take a second for this to load in, no doubt. So this is what you're going to be able to have on your websites. At the top video is just instructions on how to use this. How to get website hosting. How to upload a WordPress theme. How to get your own domain name, email address, and add your plugins to this theme, to WordPress. Your website structure, and this is actually from the Atom course. How to do keyword research, and so on and so forth. Basically, you will have on your website step-by-step instructions to offer to other people how to build a website. And all you need to do is, going back into the website here. In your website, you need to go on Visibility, Public, Edit. You need to click on Password Protected, and you need to type in a password right here. And when you publish it, people can't get into it. People can't watch this training unless they get on your contact list. And then you fill out a form and you let people know what's on your website that you're giving away for free. All they need to do is enter their information. And what this is doing is helping you, everyone, build their list. Now let's go back to the website. Now let's get back to the downloads. All of the background downloads are right here for everyone for free. There's 200 professional images that are downloaded in PowerPoint, and if you don't have PowerPoint, that's cool because you can get the openoffice.org thing for free. There's 100 royalty-free songs. These are free. There's 1 month to 1,000 list members ebook. Classic on marketing. Twitter marketing secrets, and this is actually 4 or 5 different Twitter packages. This is a huge file. It took me more than an hour to upload it. And there's Blogger's Guide, excuse me. Blogger's Guide to Profits. I need water. Now let's check out silver members. Nope. Okay, hang on. I think I might have used the wrong URL actually. Yep, okay, I did. Inside of the Silver's member area is generate emergency cash fast. Become a master affiliate marketer. Viral marketing secrets. Affiliate rescue. 750 traffic tactics. Now let's go into elite members. Just waiting for this to load into the computer that's recording, so I don't need to redo it. Okay. The elite members, on top of everything else there, they're going to get the e-cover creator that made all of these e-cover boxes. The 3D female characters. And I'm going to be uploading stuff all the time for these members, by the way. Video profits, and this isn't an ebook, this is actually a training course on how to use video to make money. Video marketing for lazy cash lovers. Anyway, the elite members are going to be getting products uploaded all of the time. And as I say, if you bring, I'm not going to tell everyone what the prices are because that's next week's presentation. All I can say is bring people next weekend to our presentation at 11, and I guarantee that you will make some money. Let's come back to the room. Our inner circle training, I can't guarantee it's going to be Monday, but we're going to be doing this too, and it's going to be on the Google Authority stuff, taking it to the next step. Yeah, there's great stuff there, Wesley, and to be honest, there are over 100 products, and some of them are worth like $197, $297. For instance, the 2 courses that I bought off of John Adams in the UK, and they're priceless. Tube Raider is very similar to my courses. I forget what the other 2 are, but anyway, our elite members are going to be getting all of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is, I'll be around on Skype for a little while longer, and anyone get a hold of me anytime on Skype or through Facebook. Just let me open up my, I don't need the Intrepidity themed training. Nope, we're good there. I finished up, and it took me longer than I thought too. Cool. $5 gets you into the matrix. What that's going to do is, we need people to pay to be into the matrix. I'd love to be able to do this for free, but if you put people in the matrix and you're not paying any money, then the government looks at that as a pyramid. And what will happen is, when the company gets audited itself in a couple of years, people that are making a lot of money will be shut down, and this income will be taken away from them. But if they're paying $5 a month for web hosting or for the product of the month or something like that, then it puts them in the matrix, and it's going to be legit. It will be legal. And I've been checking in all of the legalities of this for 4 years. No, Jan, if you're a founding member, you're a founding member. This isn't extra money. This is, the $5 is just for people that say, I can't afford $1 a day, or I can't afford $97 a month, or whatever. And there's so many people out there that come up with excuses. I mean, reasons are great and not great. Reasons are reasons, but excuses are useless. And if people can't come up with $5 a month, and to me, they need this. And they're full of excuses, and it doesn't matter what you do for them, they'll fail. People say, what am I going to do when I start out? I don't have anything to give away. Members of the PDIMI will have lots of stuff to give away, so that excuse is gone. I don't have time to do it. If you spend an hour after work 5 days a week, or a few hours, 3 or 4 hours on the weekend, Saturday, that's enough time to build a business on the internet. So anyone that makes excuses, and I know there are no excuses in this room right now, I know that. No excuse makers, sorry. And our team It has a lot of people that aren't excuse makers, and these are the people that have been around for 2 or 3 years. Anyway, I'm going to be around on Skype. I'm going to let the computer go to work, and contact me anytime, and I will be in touch. I will give everyone 24 hours notice before our next inner circle training. And thank you all for coming. Somebody just came. All right, I'll talk to you later.